The Supreme Court stated that the SEC is unclear regarding the XRP case. Earlier this week, Stuart Alderati, chief legal officer of Ripple, distributed a transcript from a case that is still continuing and involves the Securities and Exchange Commission. He said that a judge could be onto something when she says that the SEC guidelines are so nebulous and loose-limbed that no one knows if they would be at risk. This proxy accessibility case that was argued yesterday in the Fifth Circuit is something I am not really familiar with. As I mentioned before, the SEC is the product of numerous devastating court declarations about the SEC. You will see these remarks. It is possible that the latest remarks will not affect how the SEC versus Ripple case turns out. Legislators in the U.S. could take notice of them. 5 senators from the U.S. signed a letter in February that warned the SEC with further scrutiny from lawmakers. One of 5 senators, Cynthia Lumius included, responded to a motion to dismiss charges against DebtBox filed by the Securities and Exchange Commission with a letter. The senators' signatures are on the letter. In response to a court order for the SEC to explain why it should not face sanctions for providing false and misleading information, the SEC moved to dismiss the case. The SEC's actions have been the subject of intense investigation outside of the legal system as well. The CC's Office of Inspector General is gearing up to wrap up an investigation into possible cryptocurrency-related conflicts of interest. The SEC can decide not to appeal the decision about the programmatic sales if the Office of the Inspector General finds that the SEC behaved improperly. Programmatic XRP sales failed to meet the third requirement of the Howey test. The Securities and Exchange Commission has shown its intent to challenge the judgment since August 2023 when it filed a request for interlocutory appeal in accordance with Judge Annalisa Torres' July 2023 judgment. It would be good news for XRP if the SEC decided not to appeal the decision against programmatic sales. The actions of the Securities and Exchange Commission and the ongoing investigation by the Office of the Inspector General will influence the fluctuations in XRP's price. Some members of the SEC's own staff have voiced their disapproval of the agency's recent settlement with cryptocurrency company Shapeshift. Hester Peer and Mark Ueda, 2 commissioners for the SEC, have spoken out publicly about their displeasure with the current situation, asserting that the SEC has further complicated its approach to cryptocurrency regulation with this enforcement case and the agency as a whole. The complaint leveled by the SEC commissioners, on the other hand, focuses on the use of the Howey test by the SEC. This test was derived from a 1946 U.S. Supreme Court judgment. A few assets need to be classified. Regardless of this need, the commissioners argued that the SEC's most recent move against Shapeshift was vague and failed to justify the designation of any of the 79 crypto assets at issue as investment contracts. There is a general lack of clarity regarding its categorization and regulation within the cryptocurrency industry, which, according to Peirce, contributes to the problem. The method of enforcement is being examined. Beyond just the Shapeshift flavor, the SEC's entire crypto sector enforcement policy is under fire. In the past several years, the SEC has filed lawsuits against numerous cryptocurrency companies, including as Binance and Coinbase. The chairman of the Securities Committee, Gary Gensler, has said that crypto platforms should register with the SEC and that many cryptocurrencies should be considered securities. The particular categorizations of crypto assets as securities are still up in the air, and Peirce and UIDA feel that this lacks substance and clarity and is just a registration posture. Concerning the potential repercussions of ambiguity, the discussion over the categorization of Bitcoin assets as securities is not fresh. However, it has been reignited by new legal developments. Recent rulings from U.S. courts have established that dealing in some cryptocurrency on secondary markets is the same as selling securities, but a lot of people who work inside the Bitcoin sector think the exact opposite. The crypto industry is currently facing legal and regulatory hurdles as demonstrated by this ruling and the SEC's attempt to use it to strengthen its lawsuit against Coinbase. Notwithstanding these obstacles, Coinbase has argued against the SEC's view, arguing that existing litigation should not be impacted by unrelated case judgments. Securities regulation in the cryptocurrency context is complex and ever-changing. Another example is Ripple's partial triumph in a recent litigation. The judge found that XRP sales to institutional investors were illegal security sales, but not blind bid sales to regular investors. Even though the SEC's action against Ripple has taken a long time, the agency is presently putting together its brief on remedies. Investor interest in buying XRP coins has been clouded recently. People who are putting their money into networks because they think they can make a lot of money, investors have purchased 206 million Nux tokens as a direct consequence of the influx of new members into the Nugget Rush community. When competing with other top DeFi initiatives, will Nux be able to keep its bullish attitude? To find out more, keep reading. Hurry up and collect Nugget Rush. Within the XRP community, there have been requests for a delay in the SEC disputes. In XRP's continuing legal battle with the SEC, a late request from the regulatory body might lead to the granting of a more extension. Further, so the SEC requested further time to file its remedy-related brief on February 28, 2024. There will be increased community animosity as a result of the motion's approval, which will lengthen the XRP lawsuit. Following a small increase in February for the cryptocurrency XRP, the Alluring has asked for an extension. The XRP price was 5 cents on January 20th. The 1st of February saw an 8.5% decline, bringing it to 5,059. With a 6.4% rebound, XRP reached $5,302.94 on February 14th. It reached $5,863 on February 29th, a rise of 8.8%. The expansion of XRP's payment services has remained a consistent goal, regardless of the turmoil that has engulfed the case in which they are embroiled. The Ripple Pay team has already made changes to the services that they provide. Furthermore, the business has also invested in a Bitcoin asset holder targeting institutional investors. XRP's value might increase by 21.0 to 7,099 cents if its services are expanded, according to analysts. However, there are now considerable differences about XRP's feasibility as a cryptocurrency to acquire. Some analysts believe that investors will still be diverted to other popular altcoins while the dispute is ongoing. Investors are drawn to Nuggetrush's mine to earn strategy. Every day brings fresh developments in the gaming business as well as alternative cryptocurrencies that operate on a peer-to-peer basis. Nevertheless, players think that only a handful of enterprises with truly groundbreaking approaches can ever achieve commercial domination. One project that is starting to deviate from the norm is the Nuggetrush, of which I was the last journeyer Nug in January of last year. The Nugget Rush Nugsies ecosystem is a mining-centric Ethereum-based platform. It is a global celebration and encouragement of artisanal mining. In addition, gamers of Nugget Rush Nugs can invest in artisanal mining communities throughout the world while also building their own fortune. If you believe Schwartz, lots of various mechanisms, each with its own unique method of operation, come into play when one wants to generate passive income. Trading XRP for claims against the AM pools is the way to go if you want to use the AM automated market maker mechanism to get passive revenue with XRP. You can request a return of your XRP at any time, but the amount you get might not match the amount you originally invested. What this means is that you should know that there is some risk involved with this technique before you go ahead and do it. If you're thinking about making passive income with XRP, you should know that the AAMM works on a different mechanic than staking. A different advocate wanted to know more about this because Schwartz had already said that users would always get their money back from the liquidity pool, so they were referring to his earlier remarks. In response, the chief technology officer of Ripple made it clear that value is subjective. Schwartz claims that various systems, each with its own unique mode of operation, are involved in the process of passive income production. That's all for now.